defendant who's falsely.
29th of May, Gemora.
Okay, we ask Alan to lead off the reading.
Okay.
Echan Pakduni. Or Pikdoni.
The Mishnah continues its discussion of the surcharges that are imposed on a defendant who swore falsely. Havon Pikdunoi. If one said to an unpaid custodian, "Where's my deposit that I entrusted your care, Omar lo Ovar," and the custodian replied, "It was lost, and I am exempt from payment." Mishbi Achor Hani, and the owner said to him, I adjure you that your response is true. Omar Omain, and the custodian said, Omain, thus accepting the oath. Idim also and afterwards witnesses testify against the custodian that he consumed it himself. Mishalem Keren, he pays only principal, for example, the value of the deposit. Hodeh, however, he admitted of his own accord that he swore falsely. Mishalem Keren of a Homesh or Sham, he pays the principal and the 1/5 surcharge and brings an asham offering.
Okay.
The first part of the Mishnah.
Good. Let's take a look at the first Rashi. Dibur Maschil Mishalem Karen. He pays Karen. Lou, would you like to read the first Mishnah? Rashi.
Okay. Let's see, we're on 108B4.
Yes.
And Mishalem Karen,
Yes.
he pays the principal. De'ain Chomesh, the SS Ella im Hoda Dixiv the Gezo Ger the Parshas Nasa V'ho Tuvda. There's not a fifth. I don't know this word ashas.
Asham.
Oh, asham.
In Chomish ba'asham.
For an asham, it's a sacrifice. Ella, except with a thanksgiving, as it is written, with in the case of a theft. What is Hagar?
Here. Convert.
Oh, a convert. Befareshes publicly.
The Parshas.
Oh, but Parshas, in the Parsha Naso, the Hosvada, I don't know.
says in the pasuk, Rashi's quoting a word from the pasuk, "V'hisvada," and he will admit or confess his sin.
Okay. So he doesn't give a chumash for an asham. Only if it's a hoda, only if it's a Thanksgiving offering.
Only if he is moda. Only if he is moda that he admits to the to the theft. Even if witnesses came and proved with their testimony that he ate it, so that means that he was a thief. He's not going to pay. He's not going to pay the chomish. He's not going to be chayav to bring the asham unless he admits and says, "I admit that I did that."
And then what's this about the convert?
So we have to take a look in that pasuk over there. What is this is a pasuk in last week's parsha, Bamidbar, chapter 5, pasuk Zion. This is the source for this halacha is found in that pasuk, which talks about the gezel of that somebody gazeled from a ger.
Okay, so what was it? 5? What was the pasuk?
Midbar Perkei pasuk Zion.
Zion is 7. So let's see. It says, and they shall confess their sin that they committed. He shall make restitution for his guilt and its principal amount, and add a fifth to it, and give it to the one to whom he is guilty. So the context is a man or a woman who commits any of man's sins by committing a trespass against Hashem, and that person shall become guilty. So somebody commits a trespass. Let's see, what's the Hebrew?
Okay, pasuk Zion.
Chatos. Chatos, I guess it's a sin.
Shema Moshe Lemor David b'nei Yisrael, ish o isha ki yasu mikol chatois ha'adam, l'mol mal b'Hashem, v'ashma ha'nefesh ahi. Yeah, so it's a bit unclear from the Lashon what it is that we're talking about over here. He commits from any one of the chatos that a person does. Let's see, maybe Rashi explains what this is referring to. In pasuk Vav.
Yeah, I don't see the Rashi addressing this.
Arechosav v'kosav kan parshas gozel v'nishba al sheker. Hi ha'amura b'parshas vayikra. Omala mal b'Hashem kichesh b'miso nishnis kan. Ishvil shnei devorim shniskatshu bo. Echad shekosav v'hizvada limit she'eno chayav chomish v'oshem al pi edim ad sheyodeh b'davar. That's what we're looking for. Asheni al gezel ager shehu niten lekohanim. Yeah, somehow it's not clear to me from just a cursory look at the psukim, but the parsha is talking about somebody who gazels from a convert. And so that's why Rashi says by us in the parsha of Gezel Ager in Nasa. This is this parsha over here. That's the parsha, and Rashi says over here in this Rashi on the Chumash that in fact this whole halacha of somebody who's gazel, he steals and then he swears falsely. This parsha was already, this halach was already mentioned in Parshas Vayikra. But over here, the parsha is got into a second time in order to teach us two new halachas that we didn't learn out from the first time that the Chumash discussed this parsha. And one of those, Rashi lists both of them, and the first one is the one that we're looking for, that in the next pasuk, the first word in the next pasuk says v'hisvadu. V'hisvadu es chatasam, and they will confess their sin, asher asu, that they did. And then it says v'heshiv es ashamo barosho v'chamishiso Yosef olav nasan la'asher asham lo. So when we see from the pasuk that only after a vidui and a confession of the sin is he going to bring his korban asham, and is he going to add on a chomesh. So Rashi is quoting this word v'hisvadu. Okay. So back to our Mishnah. So the depositor says, Heikan Pakdoni, where's my deposit? Amalo Avad. He says it was lost. Mashpiacha ani. I command you to I'm administering an oath to you, and I command you to accept it, really. So that would be, and that's why he says amen. He doesn't say a full oath. He just says, all he has to do is say amen, I accept the oath that you've administered to me. So that's regarded as though he made the oath. The edim me'idim also, she'ochlu. And then witnesses come along and say that he didn't have it lost from him, but he ate it himself. So we see that he swore falsely. So in that case, Mishalem Karen, he's going to pay Karen for having eaten that which was entrusted to him. And if he admits, if he makes an admission that he did so, so then he pays Karen, and he has to pay Chomesh and also bring an Asham. Okay.
If he admits, he has to pay more than if he didn't admit, doesn't he? Or not?
Yeah, he pays Karen because the witnesses testified. But he's now going to pay Chomesh because he admitted.
In his interest not to admit, isn't it?
You're asking why did he admit?
Well, isn't it in his interest not to admit? Then he doesn't have to pay so much or do so much.
Well, it depends on whether you want a kapara. If you're not looking to have a kapara, so don't admit.
Uh-huh.
But you want a kapara, you got to admit.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so that's the first din. Now we got the second din, Heichen Pakduni. This is the middle of the third line of the Mishnah. And we go to Roy to read this second case.
Hechlin Pakduni. So if the owner said to the unpaid custodian, "Where is my deposit that I entrusted into your care?" Uma lo nignav, and the custodian replied, "It was stolen, and I'm exempt from payment." Mishbi'echo ani, and the owner then said to him, "I adjure you that your response is true." Amen. And the custodian said, "Amen." V'ha'adim ma'adim also shigonavo. And afterwards, witnesses testify against the custodian that he stole it himself. Mishalim Hashaloma may kefil. The custodian pays the kefil payment. Hador ma'atzma. However, if the custodian admitted of his own accord, Mishalem, Keren, Chomesh, V'Hashem. He pays the principal and the 1/5 surcharge and brings an Hashem offering.
Right. Okay, so here we see that if the witnesses come and testify that he ganved it, he took, in other words, the item that was entrusted to him to watch, and he took it for himself. So he pays kefil. He pays kefil over here. Unlike the first case, where when he made a claim that he made a claim that it was lost, and then he swore to that, and then the witnesses come and say, "No, he didn't. It wasn't lost. He ate it." So in that case, we say that he pays Karen. Here, but so we have to understand, why is it that in the first case he pays only Karen when the witnesses come, and in the second case he pays kefil when the witnesses come? I mean, did he do any less in the first case? He ate it. I would say that amounts to stealing it.
Yes. Did he? The first case, the witnesses told on him. In the second case, he admitted of his own accord, but he didn't. Or he did. No, he didn't.
It's not even when he admits, then he has to pay a homesh and bring a asham. But even if he does not admit, and witnesses come, in both cases, witnesses came, and in the first case they say he ate it, and in the second case they say that he stole it. And in the first case he only pays Karen, in the second case he pays kefil. So the question is, why is it that why is it in the Reisha he pays only Karen, and in the Seifa he pays Kefil? So in other words, we see that in the first case, it simply is regarded as consuming the item that was deposited to him. And so therefore he's got to pay for the item that he consumed. But in the second case, he's regarded as a ganav. And so like any ganav, he has to pay kefil for being a ganav. The question is, what exactly makes him a ganav in the second case any more than the first case? It's not clear what he did to be in the second case that makes him a ganav.
Because it was stolen, I exempt. And then said, I adjure you, like the top, like the first case.
And furthermore, generally, a case of a ganav, the case of a ganav is that it comes into his hands because he entered into the domain of the owner and ganved it away from him. Whereas over here, the owner himself entrusted the item to him. It's not really a clear-cut case of Geneva altogether, because it was originally entrusted to him with the permission of the owner. This is not like an ordinary case of Geneva, where ordinary case of Geneva is that the Ganav comes and takes the item unawares of the owner. The owner doesn't realize that he's taking it, but he didn't willingly give it to him. So these two cases are a bit. The second case is a bit difficult to understand. In other words, the first case, I understand. He was entrusted with the item, and he's not giving it back because he ate it. Okay, so he's got to pay for it. So he pays Karen. Why does he only pay Karen? Because he's not a ganav. Why is he not a ganav? Because he didn't go. It was the item was originally entrusted to him to watch. That's not the case. That's not similar to a case of a ganav. A case of a ganav is he goes in stealth and steals it away from the owner unawares. The owner never gave it to him willingly. That's a case of Geneva. So really, we understand the first case, why he's only chayav Karen. What we don't understand is in the second case, why is he chayav kefil? How is it that he made himself a ganav over here? He just took something that was entrusted to him for himself. Okay, so let him pay Karen. Why is he paying kefil? Why is he a ganav? This is not clear to me.
The only difference I can see at the moment is that in the first one he said it was lost. In the second one he said it was stolen. I don't think that's significant.
Oh. So maybe that's the whole thing. That's what I was thinking. That really, in other words, why is it that the second person is paying kefil as a ganav? Perhaps it's because it's proven that he swore falsely. He's really a toin tanis ganav. And a tohen tanis ganav has the same din as a ganav. He claimed that it was stolen. That was his claim, and he swore to it. And then he was proven that he swore falsely. So the reason why he's paying kefil is because he's not because he's a ganav, but he's a tohen tanis ganav. He's someone who claimed that he's a custodian who claimed that it was stolen from him. And then the witnesses came and proved that he swore falsely. So like that, he would have to pay kefil. For example, if he would have admitted before the witnesses came, he wouldn't have to pay Karen. He wouldn't have to pay kefil because he's admitted that he's admitted that he swore falsely, and so he would get off from the payment of kefil. I believe we had this case in the last Amud or two. Okay, maybe the Gemora will go into it more, but in any case, that's the. So we'll be looking, in other words, for why it is that in the second case he's paying kefil. My suggestion is the reason that he's paying kefil is not because he's an actual ganav, but because he has the din of a ganav, because he's a tohen tanis ganav, and a tohen tanis ganav pays kefil just like a ganav pays, an outright ganav, and he fits the bill of being a tohen tanis ganav. And if you'll ask, well, why don't we say the same thing in the first case? Because we don't say that by somebody who claims that it was lost from him. Somebody was lost from him, and it's shown that he swore falsely. He doesn't pay kefil. It's only somebody that tainas that it was stolen from him and then swears falsely that pays kefil. That person pays kefil, but not someone who swears falsely that it was lost from him. Okay. I think we've seen this in the previous few pages. Okay, now we're going to go further. We have a few minutes to go further in the Mishnah. Now, we've got a case over here, Hagozel es Aviv. Oy vey. Not a nice case, but the Mishnah mentions it. Okay, Lou, would you like to read Hagozel es Aviv?
No, he's answering a phone.
Oh, okay, Alan. Back to Alan.
Okay, we learned in the Mishnah on 103a, the one who stole and swore falsely and now seeks atonement must repay the victim at all costs, even if this necessitates pursuing him to Medea. The Mishnah discusses another application of this law.
Are you on 108b?
Yeah, that's
Four?
right. You
Four.
keep going, Alan.
Okay. Hagodel es or Aviv v'nishba lo. If one robs his father and swore falsely to him in denial of robbery, umes, and the father dies and the son then admits his guilt, l'vonov o l'chov, harei zeh mashalem keren v'homes mesh v'ashem. He pays the principal and the 1/5 surcharge to the father's other sons or to the father's brothers. V'im no, but if he does not wish to forfeit the portion of the robbery that he should have inherited, she'ein lo, or he does not have the means to afford this forfeiture, Lova, he may borrow money from the others and then return the robbery to the other heirs, and and his creditors may then come and collect the debt from the portion of the robbed property that is his rightful inheritance.
Hmm. Okay.
So there's two parts to this, right? That if he stole swore falsely and seeks atonement, he must repay the victim. And then it goes on to say, if he one robs his father and swore falsely to him, denial of robbery, and the father dies, his son admits his guilt. He has to pay the principal and 1/5 to the father's other sons, or to the father's brothers.
Pays it in other words, to the inheritors. And what's this din about if he ain't no rotze or ain't lo? He doesn't want to do that, or he doesn't have what to pay?
Because he may borrow the money from others and then return the robbery to the other heirs.
He may borrow money from others and then return the robbery to the other heirs. That if the father dies, then his brothers, for example, are his brothers and himself are heirs to the father's fortune. So what? So if he's got charata and he wants to pay back what he stole, but he's spent the money, so he can borrow from others and then return the robbery to the other heirs. He may borrow money from what's others? Which others? And then return the money. So he borrows the money from somebody outside the family, maybe, which is what he stole, the equivalent of what he stole. He borrows, and then he returns that to his brothers, the other heirs, and then his creditors come and collect the debt from the portion of the robbed property that is his rightful inheritance. So his creditors then say, okay, now you've got your inheritance now when it's been given out. So we'll take what belongs to us from that. So he borrows what he stole, the amount that he stole from somebody outside the family, perhaps we'll say outside the family, and he pays that to those who were in the will, and those people from whom he borrowed this money his creditors collect it from what the robber had given to him as part of his inheritance, as his inheritance.
Okay, so Rashi mentions the issue over here that needs to be pointed out. In Dibur Maskil, Harezim Mishalem Keren V'chomish Lebanov. The thief, the one that stole from his father, is going to have to pay Keren and Chomish to his sons, meaning to the sons of the father, says Rashi, meaning his brothers. Oh, la'achiv shel la'aviv, or to the brothers of his father. He made labanim if he has no other sons other than himself. And here's the kicker over here that Rashi says, V'afal gav, denoflo Yerusha kamei. Even though when the father passed away, the Yerusha came to him, the son who stole from the father. Nevertheless, kamei deheyach, boy lemevad hashava, he needs to make he needs to return all what he stole. Ve'ein ma'akev afilu keneged chelko, and he's not allowed to withhold from the return of the stolen property, even his own chelik in the Yerusha. We might have thought to say that, okay, he's a ganev, so he's got to give back what he ganved, right? But he could keep the portion that should come to him in Yerusha, because he is a son of the father, and since the father passed away after he stole, so the father's Yerusha should bequeath him his portion of the Yerusha, and so therefore when he gives back what he stole, he could we might have thought that he could hold back and not give back his portion of the Yerusha. Rashi says that no, he cannot do that. He's got to give back everything that he stole, including that portion which should come to him in Yerusha. So that's the issue over here. What the Mishnah is saying over here, that im eno rotze. I see we are way out of time, so we'll continue this tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem.
All right. I'm not too sure if I'll be here tomorrow.
Oh,
Sorry, I think I've got this appointment. I'm in the middle of all these appointments now. I try not to, but sometimes you can't help it. The doctors are there only at that time, or whatever. That's still, you do what you can do.
okay, we understand.
You can do what you can do.
Seder should go well.
I hope
Thank you.
the appointments go well, Roy.
So do I. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Bye for now. Oh, and Wednesday won't be in at all to anywhere, because my wife is going in for her eyes, and I'll be with her.
First Flamer.
Thank you.
It'd be a successful procedure, Be'ez Hashem.
Amen.
Lou, 4 o'clock?
Yivus Hashem, yes, 4:00.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye, Roy.
Right.
Bye, Lou. Bye, Alan.
Take care. Bye-bye.